Aloha and welcome. Thank you for joining us to this second part live stream. I want to jump right in today. So everyone in our network, hopefully you've been to one of our events before. If not, we start everything we do. We take a nice big breath in. And right at the top of the breath, there's a space. Just drop into that space. Hopefully some folks that were on yesterday, welcome back to folks that were here yesterday. I suggested taking a couple of moments. The underlying essence foundation to all the things we're going to share today about our new Qui-fi technology, about our laser technology, about the Stillpoint smoothie, all center on one key reference, one key principle. And that principle is that our universe is a neutral experience. Only our planet and star have a little bit of a polarization experience going on where there's a back and forth, back and forth. The vast majority, 99.999999999% of the universe is all space, neutral, energy. And so to me, the key to living in this little bubble, into this little experience here of our reality, which is the 0000001, which, by the way, that 0000001 is all of the stars and planets and galaxies and matter. So our planet amidst that is much, much, much smaller. And so to me, in my reality, in my experience, I'm looking constantly for how can I be in this experience of our planet, which is basically compressing energy down into matter, spinning around, pulling energy into matter, coalescing into elements, cells, organs, bodies, physicality, which is great experience. I am not the kind of yogi or person who does not love and appreciate this physical form. This is a phenomenal treasure of the universe that we have here. And yet, from my perspective, I don't lose track of the reference of the reality that while I'm inhabiting this treasure of a vehicle, of a body, this treasure is not ultimately who I am. Who I am is guided by where my perception rests. This is key. This is so important, and this is kind of the underlying start point of every seminar I do. You know, perception is like a channel, and you flip channels around and pick different things you want to experience. Well, same thing here. If you want to experience just being the body, well, then you identify with being the body. If you want to have a reference of personality and some sense of, then you organize around that. In my life, I like to organize perception around the vastness of the energy of the universe and beyond. And so each of the things that we're going to lay out today are simply tools. And I want to start off and qualify that each of these things that we're going to share, whether it's the Stillpoint process, whether it's the Qui-fi technology, whether it's the laser, whether it's quanticize, they're each a different tech tool or technology that I use daily to open up this bubble and invite this neutral energy, this neutral essence to start to come in and fill this space. As I often say in our seminars, I often share in our seminars, it's now proven science that there is an energy field that surrounds the body. This energy has been studied in Russia. It's been studied in many places. In this field of energy, this envelope, they've now found, diagnostic with equipment, comes out 5 to 10 feet on most people. 5 to 10 feet. They've studied people, and they found that people with a strong field of energy are way less prone to chronic pain, depression, autoimmune health challenges than people who have strong quantum fields. So if you have strong quantum field, less apt to have health challenges, disease. If not so strong quantum field energy, people are more prone to have challenges and health situations going on. So our whole approach, and I share this at every seminar, I start every seminar with perception. This is the key technology. Lasers, we're going to get to that in a moment. Yet from my perspective, the key technology here that we're working with is perception. This is the powerful technology, perception. Never want to lose track of that. Whatever thing I use, it's great. I love it. It's helpful. It's a great blessing. And yet, at the end of the day, I always come back and make sure this is the thing that I am working on and constantly cultivating and guiding, perception. It's key. Whatever you put this on, it's just like computer. You put it on thinking, you're going to get thinking. You put it on emotions, you're going to focus. It's like a tuner. You tune to emotions, you're going to get emotions. You have challenges, concern about the body, you're going to get a lot of challenges with the body. You tune it to the energy of the universe, neutrality, which to me is the scalar, is the prana, is the chi, is the universal energy, spirit, whatever name you want to give it. It's that substance, that essence, that thread that weaves together everything from the stars to the cells to the animals to the elements to our bodies to the entire fabric of the galaxy and the universe. And so to me, I'm constantly looking, well, how can I tune perception to invite this inrush of energy to come in and to find solutions and to strengthen this experience. And so today, before we shift gears to laser, I want to start a little bit differently. Yesterday we did extensively on lasers. And today I want to start a little bit differently. I want to focus in the first thing. I want to just touch on very simple process. Everyone go ahead and take a nice big breath in. And just hold at the top of the breath. Take a breath in. You can take a moment at the top of the breath, or you can breathe out, relax, let go, and right at the bottom of the breath. In between, breath in, out, in. There's a space at the top and there's a space at the bottom. What we want to start to use our perception for is to drop in. As I'm resting here in neutrality, to me, it's kind of like, it feels like holding the breath. In fact, one way you can try this if you're new is just drop in, hold the breath for a moment, and then relax. The breath will keep going. It keeps regulating on its own, like when you sleep. Yet for me, as I'm resting here in this space between the breath, see if you notice anything. I notice as I'm holding this space. This is a key principle, piece to all of our seminars, our live streams, the upcoming retreats we do. This is the foundational skill. If you learn this today, I tell you, this is the most powerful thing I'm going to share today, by far. You hold this space right here. This is a muscle like anything else. You practice this, it gets strong. You don't practice it, it doesn't get strong. For me, I'm holding this space. As I'm holding this space, it feels to me like I'm plugged in to the neutral energy and essence. Energy, neutrality is filling in this space. In fact, to me, it feels like I'm being plugged into a spigot, and this area is like a big balloon, and it's filling up. I'm just holding right here in neutrality. You know, I talk a lot to folks about dropping into Stillpoint. Yet there's another element to dropping into Stillpoint. You can drop in here, and then you can hold it in a way where this space is getting filled. And that's what I want to practice right now for one quick moment. It's very subtle. Basically what we're saying is when we do this, we're basically saying with our perception, well, hold on, physical stuff. And we just very slightly, it's like fine-tuning until, it's kind of like the analogy is like when you're putting air into a tire and the pin is not right there and it's going shh, and then you find that right point and you hold that right point. All right, at a certain point, as I covered yesterday, and I often do, this field of energy gets strong. Like right now, for me, this is strong now. If I was doing this at home, I would have dropped in for a moment, taken a breath, dropped into Stillpoint, held this space until I get right here. And I call this opening the quantum field. In our seminars, this is called opening the quantum field. First step in our Stillpoint process, being able to drop into Stillpoint. You cultivate that. That's a muscle. You get comfortable dropping into Stillpoint. It leads to the second step, opening quantum field. This quantum field is now nice and open. I liken this to checking your computer every day. How many occasions do you check your computer, your laptop, your pad? People check 50, 100 occasions a day. Oh, what's going on there? They look at their friends, their emails, their pictures, their videos, their folders, their files, their movies, their music. Well, how often do you check this quantum field? For me, I say every 10 occasions on the computer, make a little note, Put it up, hang it on your computer. Every 10 views on your computer. Start off every 100 views. And open this screen. I do this every day. I do it 2-3 occasions a day. Here's what I want you to do now. This is a very simple process. Look around this space right here. Is there any problems? Is there any issues going on? Let this be a daily practice. Is there any issues or challenges going on in this screen? Start with the body. Just take a quick scan. Close the eyes. We're going to get to lasers in one moment. If you understand this, you're going to understand our approach to using lasers. This is the foundation for how I use lasers. So first thing you want to do, very quickly, look, is there anything going on in your body today? Any stress? Is there any injury? Is there any pain? Right here in the body. If you can't feel any, is there a health challenge you've been working on? Digestion, memory, aging, too much thinking, maybe an organ problem. Well, I find an area, right away I find an area in my body that's a little tender. So here's what I want you to do. Go with your perception up to that area. And just say to that area, aloha, welcome. Just welcome it. From the place of stillpoint, from the place of neutrality, go up to that area and just say to those cells, with your perception, go right over there and simply say, welcome. As soon as I welcome the area that I'm working on, my body unwinds. I feel it start to go like this. It kind of goes, takes a sigh. Kind of feels a little bit like if you ever had a massage or if you ever had a network chiropractic or a cranial adjustment. I welcome that area, and the area goes into what I call unwind. Kind of like you have a little area and you pinprick it and everything starts flowing out. Same thing, you got a little area, just welcome it, it starts to flow, it starts to unwind. Until a moment later, for me, it drops me into stillpoint. See, this is the language. If you get comfortable, there's tension, stress, we welcome things, they unwind, dissolve, they come back into neutrality. That language we are going to go over again and again today, especially when we get to the lasers, so hold tight. If you understand that language, contraction, what yogis call karma, I call it polarity. You unwind, welcome that polarity to unwind. That polarity begins to shift, it begins to dissolve, positive, negative. At a certain point it dissolves. Positive and negative have now had their chance to have a full dialogue. They shift to neutrality. Those are the three key variables of this universe. Positive, negative, neutrality. So, I go to this area, I welcome it, it unwinds, contraction, positive, it starts to dissolve, negative, drops into neutrality. All right, now look around once more. Is there anything else going on? Now look larger in the quantum field. Step out a little bit past the body. We started off with one body process right there. Now we go a little further. Is there anything going on in this space emotionally? Any challenge this week? Anything going on with a loved one, a friend, someone not doing well? A relationship, something with your work? A lot of things going on in people's lives. I'm sure everyone can find something. I can dig in. I can find a bunch of things in each of the, in the physical and the challenges. Whatever the challenges, pull it up onto the screen here. Pull it up. Whatever the challenges, just say, oh, great, come on up, welcome. And again, aloha, welcome it. Don't judge it, don't analyze it, don't send it energy, don't laser it, don't fix it. Simply welcome it as though it's a long-lost friend that's been holding something very dear for you until you are ready for it. Well, I pulled up something, a little challenge, welcomed it. As it welcomed, I can tell my body's unwinding. We call a stillpoint response. I get to that a little later. And my body starts to unwind, starts to dissolve, starts to neutralize. It doesn't take long. When you have something like this and you prick it, it doesn't take that long for stuff to come out. We're not doing some big fancy process. And right there, I drop into neutrality. Two things I just did. Physical body found something, welcomed it. Something else, and I'm resting here now in stillpoint. back in this space of the quantum field. I tell you, most people go through life every day and they find a couple new things to grab on and hold on to. Yogis call it karma. Every day, new injury, new cell memory, new emotion, new thing to believe in or belief or program. In my life, every day, I take a moment, carve some space out, just like you do with your garden. You get the weeds out, the twigs, you make sure everything's nice there. Your living room, you get the trash out, you clean it up. Everyone does this already. Computers, you clean up if there's any bugs. You delete some stuff, get your picture on there. Every day, check in with this space. As soon as I do that, I feel energy. The reason I do this every day is I feel after I clear a couple things, everyone check in for one moment at the base of your spine. For me, I feel a pulse. We call this the sacred pulse. There's a sacred muscle at the base. It's the same muscle you use to go to the restroom. It's the same muscle that doctors write about. The PC muscle. Kegel exercises. Same root muscle. It's like a tree. You have a biggest nerve plexus in the body down here. Most people don't even ever understand. It's like having a car and not understanding how to accelerate. This nerve muscle is the most important thing in the body. It's the root. So squeeze it gently. Squeeze. After I clear some things, for me, I feel it starts to go like this. It squeezes a little, and then it relaxes a little bit. In my life, I don't even squeeze it. It's just, I feel this pulsation. And then it relaxes a little bit. And then I squeeze it a little bit. So what are we doing? Positive, negative. Positive, negative. Now, as you go in, drop it right in the space in between, in and out. Drop it right in the space in between. See, this is the same language we've been talking about. Positive, negative, neutrality. Same dialogue. So what do we do? Breath. In, out, neutrality. Base. In, out, drop it in neutrality. As soon as I drop it in neutrality, this is third step in Stillpoint process. First one, drop into Stillpoint. Second step, open up quantum field. Third step, squeeze the sacrum. We call this activation. Activate. As I hold this in neutrality right here, energy starts flowing up the spine for me. We call this activation. Energy is flowing up the spine. This is my goal every day. If I don't clear some things every day, whether with the laser, with the Qui-fi, or with the quantum field clearing we just did, then I don't feel this energy floating up the spine, flying up the spine. I don't feel this energy up the spine. By the way, what is the medical symbol? Scalar wave, positive, negative, central column, neutrality, staff of life, glands at the top, wings, right, left brain, frontal lobe, energy flying up the body. This symbol, this Western medical symbol, is the essence of every alchemy, yoga, healing, shaman, mystic tradition the world over. Every single one understands this energy. I just cannot say how important this is. To me, the whole reason why I do everything else is so I can get here. It's like polishing a diamond. If I don't do that other stuff throughout my day, at certain junctures, at certain places, then energy gets like this. I tell you, yogis say that most people, the energy, you have so much energy, and that energy, it's like a vase. If the energy is coming in a vase and it's going out, yogis call this the outgoing senses. And they say the biggest problem that most people have is that their senses are going out, which means that their energy is draining and going outward from the body. At a certain point, yogis say that changes. We cultivate that to change. And when that changes, they call it the root locks. They call it the bonds, B-A-N-D-H-S, bonds. Mula bond is the root lock, is the very thing we're talking about, squeezing this area and holding it. I want you to try something. As you're holding this area at the very root, at the base, notice something. Try to think. Try to see if you can hold a thought while you're holding this root. It's not possible. Try to see if you can tune into an emotion while you're holding this root at the base of the spine. Can't do it. Now, as you're holding this root at the base of the spine, see if you can find an area of tension or pain in the body. Any pain in the body. See if you can find anything in the body that's uncomfortable as you're holding this. It's like a little sapling tree. You cut out the ball around the tree, and you carry it. Well, if you cut that tree at the bottom and try to move it, it's not moving. It's not going to grow. You take that out. You hold this at the root, this whole muscle nerve plexus, biggest one in the body. Hold it and try to feel an area of tension or pain. I can't do it. It's not possible. I tell you, this right here, this is like a magic button. It's like a magic button. You cultivate holding this in this place of neutrality. There are different views about this. Yet my view is you activate this and it activates nonlinear. This is the muscle that activates the neutral flow of energy along the spine and in our relativity. Well, you go into thinking, and thinking, guess what thinking does? Thinking does the opposite. Thinking activates polarity, right brain, left brain. You want to dissolve that? We had someone at a seminar, came to a seminar recently, and they asked me, they were still going to Stillpoint. This happened at the Vegas retreat, at the beginning of the retreat, someone well-seasoned in our network who's been to many of our events. And they said, they go to Stillpoint, and the thoughts still come. He still has some thinking that comes up, and some considerations, and not sure he understands it, not sure he gets it. And so I said, okay, good. Well, hold Stillpoint, and now squeeze the root. He squeezed that root. I checked in. I said, you check in. You get back to me, and you practice this, and tell me if the thinking still comes in when you do this. He looked at me. He had a smile on his face, and the thinking was gone. The thinking was gone. And so I mean to say this, I often I don't always go deeper initially. This is profound. Just like I tell people to hold Stillpoint, that's scratching the surface. I don't only go around holding Stillpoint all day long. There are some situations where I'm dealing with a tough situation. I say, Stillpoint's not going to work. I can't stay open to this individual who I'm dealing with or this situation because it's not going to work. So what do? I say, well, let's flip this equation. I hold this place. Now my energy is not open here and interfacing. Now my energy is like coursing here along my spine. That person wants to get all whipsawed. They're upset at me. It's like, okay, great. Go for it. I'm not even here anymore. I'm here in this state. I don't even know who you are. I don't even know who I am. Third step. This is powerful. I tell some people, practice holding this every hour. Go through your day holding this root. Since I've been here back in Maui, in our dome, I mentioned yesterday we have this dome we live in here that's like this sacred geometry dome. It's like a temple. So I'm in there, and it's like energy is like this until I lock the roots. And then I lock these roots in, and energy just flows. It just cruises. All right, good. That's the third step. The fourth step I just want to mention, and then we're going to shift gears here. Ambrosia. When I cultivate this energy up along the spine, it comes up here, and it starts to bathe the glands in the brain, the ambrosia, the nectar, what Carl Jung called secret of the golden flower, ancient Taoist, the elixir of life, the fountain of youth. In India, they call it Amrita, the sacred compounds that get released in the pineal pituitary when the energy along the spine starts to open and flower. And as soon as this is every day when I do this, and anyone who wants to learn this process, we're going to shift gears to lasers here in one moment, yet anyone who wants to learn this process, anyone who wants to learn this process, anyone who wants to learn this process, come to Vermont. We spend 3-4 days at a retreat. All we do is go through this process of this Stillpoint process. At the end of the retreat, I'm just getting a testimonial or two every day from folks from the retreat in Vegas who share how this is becoming real for them. They're using this in their lives. They're navigating challenges and changes using this process. Using this process. So come to the retreats. So fourth step in the process, activating ambrosia. Activating ambrosia. So this nectar, this flowering, this is key. I cannot say this enough. Every ancient system of wellness, the world over, whether it's the Tibetan Buddhist, they call it the rainbow body. Whether it is the staff of life, whether it is the rainbow bridge, whether it is Kundalini, whether it is the shaman, every system understands that the key to health, to longevity, and ultimately to higher consciousness is understanding how to unify positive and negative, and activate. Yoga means unity. Activate this neutral flow of energy up into the brain to open up the glands, to open up the flowering, and to induce the nectar, the amrita, what we call the ambrosia process. So again, I've just walked through, simplified, 4 key easy steps to this process. 1, being able to drop into Stillpoint. Everyone come right back here for a moment. Drop back in Stillpoint. See? 2, you keep holding Stillpoint, and what happens? It opens up this space, this quantum field. In my life, I try to go through life and hold this space as much as I can. Well, at a certain point, you stay in this state. It activates the sacred muscle, sacred flow of energy, sacred pulse, wave of bliss up the spine. That energy up the spine nourishes the glands in the brain to open up the amrita, the nectar. This is now proven. It releases a compound in the back with DMT, PEA, harmalines, oxytocin, all sorts of key neural compounds that put us into the state of bliss, nirvana, samadhi, into a state where we are now one with the universe, and in a nice state. This is the goal that I use all these different tools for. All right, that's a little introduction to Stillpoint process. All right, we're going to do a quick demonstration with the Qui-fi. I want to just touch on this today, and then we're going to finish up with lasers. The Qui-fi is a new technology. See if you notice it from wherever you are. This is working not a laser. This is working with scalar energy. And I get tons of emails from folks that when I turn it on, one woman shared with us recently that she told her neighbor to go on the live stream. The neighbor went on the live stream, and she said, the neighbor, this was in Canada, I was doing it from Hawaii. Neighbor went on the live stream and totally felt the Qui-fi. Well, next day she ordered one. Scalar energy is the neutral energy of the universe. It's the fabric. I often call it the scalar essence. This uses crystal oscillators and a subtle scalar array to open and induce nonlinear quantum fields. There's 6 programs on it. You can plug it into the laser or plug it into the wall. Pick different programs. I just turned it on, and it happened to be on one. As soon as I turned it on, it had an effect of putting me into Stillpoint. We use it for 2 things. We use it, 1, to neutralize EMFs. We're in a location here where we're down in town, and there's things going on around a bit. So I put it on. It just has a nice neutralizing effect on EMFs, cell phone towers, pollution, smog. It purifies the air. It's a purifier. It's designed to purify space for hundreds of feet. It works in a large area to neutralize. We've had people having challenges with smart meters where it just brings it down. It neutralizes. The other key benefit to this technology, from my perspective, is it opens up the quantum field. I don't want to go too long on this. Just brief introduction. I just changed it to another program called Unity, and as soon as I did this quantum field, when I have this on, for me, it strengthens this. Just like I'm going to get to the laser in a moment. Laser works great on the body, on injuries, on pain. When I work the Qui-fi, which is what this is called, one of the biggest challenges and reasons I developed this was in hotels. They run Wi-Fi everywhere. We don't use Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi for me, I'm very sensitive to things that go against resting in Stillpoint. For years I've been saying no Wi-Fi. When I'm in a space with Wi-Fi, it takes me twice as much energy to hold Stillpoint. So we use in our homes, we use wired internet. Why? We don't want to send some frequency signal all over the place. We want nice, neutral space. Well, only recently did I finally see they've now banned Wi-Fi in numerous places. They've banned in Australia. They banned it from schools because it has a definitive stressful effect on the heart and on the brain. They've banned it in Europe. So now technology is proving that actually Wi-Fi is very deleterious. Well, this is my solution to being in hotels and places where there's Wi-Fi. I turn it on, it neutralizes the Wi-Fi and brings the whole space back into a nice, neutral, and relaxed place. Normally this is $1,800. It's very unique technology. It's in the process of being patented. It's patent pending. There's nothing else on the planet that works like this. This is a really revolutionary and new technology, and this month it's free. I'll give you a couple other very simple things we do with it. When we buy groceries, we place it around. We like to put on the program Quantum when we do our groceries. Quantum. Just put Quantum on. You can put water next to it. You can put your smoothies. You can put your supplements. And what does it do? It's sending out a nice scalar neutral wave of energy. We like to put it on in the bathroom if you have a spa, if you have getting a massage. Just pick the program. Essie, the way me and Essie do it, me and Essie often pick the programs a lot. And Essie and me call it, it's funny, we say, we say, okay, let's see which one we want to do. And the way we do it is we just try each one until we see which one makes us smile. And so I go through, I pick one, and there's only 6 on here. So I put the first one, I say no, I go next one, and inevitably on each day that we do it, there's often 1, 2, or 3 programs that when we put it on, we both start smiling and we say, that's the best one. And when we find that one, that's an easy way for anyone to do this. Just go through and take a moment and see. I just put it on this one. This one's making me smile. I'm not even sure what program it is. It doesn't matter. Just move. It doesn't matter. Just try it. Does it feel good? Well, not so good. Go to the next one. Go to the next one until you feel your body start to smile. This is a great one to do if you want to do a quantum field process. Do this. Drop into Stillpoint. See how easy it is if you have one of these on? We have more and more emissaries doing events with their network and with folks when we do these events. So a great opportunity. Invite 5 or 6 people. Some people have 10, 15 people over as we're doing this live stream. And well done for the folks that are out there doing that. Great opportunity. Turn the Qui-fi on. I'm on, if you want to be on the same program as me, I'm on Activate right now. The 3rd one, right in the middle. And as I'm on Activate, it's having a nice effect. My body's relaxing. It's opening up. Well, this is a great program for me. When we have friends over, often we'll put it on. We'll pick a nice program. It's like a subtle, ambient. This to me is inducing bliss. When I use it, my goal is I want to activate my cells, my quantum field, energy along the spine. And again, just so I'm really clear about this, what we're doing with this is we're taking waves and we're collapsing them into one point. So we're doing a very specific process where we're taking crystal oscillators and we're taking that wave, that energy, and we're opening it into one point where the space opens up. We're collapsing it into a neutral space. So from my perspective, this technology doesn't send energy out to block everything and neutralize it. What it does is it very gently opens, it like picks a little hole in the fabric here of physicality, of the fabric of space. And it pricks a little hole in that space to allow this scalar essence to start flowing in. It's the scalar energy of the universe that to me can handle EMFs. And this is a really important point for folks in our network, because I'm not about going around and saying, oh, that's bad energy and that's bad and we got to neutralize that. That's not my approach at all. My approach is there is no bad. There's no good, there's no bad. There's just physics. So when I'm dealing with a challenge or a situation, whether it's with the body or whether it's with some kind of tough energy or some situation, my goal is neutrality. You come in here. Neutrality is the underlying essence that weaves the positive and the negative. It's the essence of everything. And so for me, all I want to do is bring stuff in and invite that neutral energy in. With the laser, which we're about to get to here, I want to invite that situation to come in, to dissolve, and to organize things, to reorganize back into a state of unity and perfection. Because everything is constantly in the process of opening into perfection. And neutrality to me is what nourishes it, like a flower. Water nourishes the flower, it opens up into its perfection. Human condition challenges, well, neutrality comes in and it opens things to ripen and flower into the perception and perfection. So again, this is the Qui-fi. By the way, for folks that have the Qui-fi, occasionally I'll use it and I'll face it right towards me, and this thing shoots out a beam like this. This is very simple LED indicators, yet it's powerful. I was in a dark room recently and it shot out a beam that just went right up all around it. So I said, oh, okay, great. So I just point let it point and tune right up here around perception. I just shifted to unity and it just whoosh, opens up. I'm looking for when does my body shift and dissolve from here. Neutrality. And sure enough, as I'm on whatever I'm on right here, my body is dissolving. It's going into neutrality. Again, another nice little benefit. By the way, if you have a bottle of something and you put it right here, you see my hands right there are absorbing the light from that. It's getting the scalar energy. It's also sending out this light. Great approach to using this to fine-tune. You can put a little thing here with a supplement bottle or with your Stillpoint activator bottle for the Stillpoint. Put the bottle right here. Let this line up right into it. It charges it with scalar energy. So now we are going to get to lasers. And so everyone go ahead, take a nice big breath in. I did a good overview of lasers yesterday and our approach to using lasers. So today, I want to dig in and really focus on one key part. From my perspective, there's a lot of neat lasers out there right now. I'm not of the opinion that ours is the only good laser. There's neat lasers, and I always tell people, if you're interested in getting a laser and using a laser in your life and in your health, then go and try some lasers. See which one feels to you like it has the effect that you want to cultivate. It's like, it's like a car. You go and you try a car, and do you want a car that's going to go real slow but carry a lot of heavy stuff like a truck or something, or do you want something that's really fast and zips you around, or do you want something comfortable, or do you want something big because you have a family? You got to see what is the experience you want to have every day. And so for me, I developed this laser because I want to have an experience where we donate energy and light to the body. I also want to have an experience where the body, as I'm using it, and the cells where I'm using it, are dissolving, relaxing, and going into a state of neutrality and still point. And that's what makes our laser really, truly unique from other cold laser, low-level laser, soft hit lasers, healing lasers, therapeutic lasers on the planet. Our laser is revolutionarily different because we're a cold laser, and all lasers are great. All lasers work on one key principle. You can see the light coming out. They donate light. They donate photons. That's the key action of lasers. Therapeutic lasers donate photon energy. Well, what is photon energy? Photon energy is what the sun, photons make things grow. You plant your garden in the sun, you get photons, fruits, vegetables, grow bigger fruits and vegetables. Well, same thing with lasers. Lasers donate energy. That energy goes into the cells and it stimulates cells. Studies show, after study after study shows that photons increase the output of mitochondrial ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is a fancy word for energy. Not a big thing. It's cellular energy. Your cells produce ATP when they're healthy. That ATP fuels 80 to 90% of the cell's activity. Not rocket science. It's fairly straightforward. Well, from my perspective, in my health, in my journey, as we cover in our seminars, there is one key thing to understand about health, and that's the only thing that's important. And a lot of people on our planet don't even believe it anymore. And that key thing is that the only thing the body does ever is to replicate cells. The body is a regenerating machine. It is profoundly adept and capable to doing the work of rebuilding and regenerating cells. And this gets back to perception. I touched on this earlier. You know, if you have a program running, which a huge percent of our Western population does, that the body is no good, that the body doesn't regenerate, you know, people believe that. That's the program they're running up here for health. Body can't regenerate, bone on bone, you need knee surgery. Nerves don't regenerate according to doctors. Organs don't regenerate. Eyes don't regenerate. Nothing regenerates. So you have that program running that the body's not very good, doesn't regenerate. When you have a challenge, your default mechanism is you got to go into the system of non-regeneration. You got to go into the non-regenerative system. And basically you go to a doctor, they give you pharmaceuticals, they give you a procedure, they cut something out. All of that framework is built around the reference in the program that the body is not good, not capable, and can't regenerate. Well, that is the first key underlying premise that we need to dissolve, like a machete. You just dissolve that thing, delete it. Well, how do you do that? You pull it up into the quantum field. You say, oh, welcome. Just like we did earlier, this is a very simple side note here. You want to delete something? Here's what you do. Open your quantum field up. Pull up that program that's been trained in so many people's brains. Body doesn't regenerate. Pull that up and welcome it. Just say aloha. Thanks for showing up. Delete it. I did that right there. My body started to dissolve. You see, any program you have or that's prevailing on our planet, just bring it up, see if it's there. If it is, welcome it and dissolve it. Clear it. Delete it. That's not the right program. Deepak Chopra, most famous doctor on the planet, next to Dr. Oz now. Both of them most famous doctors, totally alternative wellness based. And Deepak was the first person who said, we know the body is new every 7 or 8 years. Your body's brand new every 7 or 8 years. So what's this business about? You know, why would someone have an injury 10, 15, 20 years later? If your body is already new, your eyes take 2 days. Every single cell in the body has a ROR, rate of regeneration. Organs, bones, teeth, hair, eyes, soft tissue, you name it, and its process is about regenerating. Well, Deepak came up and said, well, the problem is that people get this thing called cell memory. Injury, cell memory. Emotion, cell memory. Then the cells hold on to the cell memory, and the new cells keep replicating, but that new cell passes the cell memory of the injury, of the stress, of the health challenge, of the emotion to the new cell, and that new cell then basically, brand new vibrant cell, yet it acts and behaves like the old cell that has the issue and the challenge. Well, again, to me, this is the biggest problem I see by far on planet Earth, and it's why I developed this laser. Traditional lasers do nothing to address cellular memory. Traditional lasers do one thing. They're designed to donate energy to stimulate cells to replicate and regenerate. And I want to just touch on that for one moment. Our laser has 3 different primary wavelengths that we use with our system. 3 different primary wavelengths that we use with our system. I'm just going to touch on them briefly here for a moment. The first one is red lasers. You can see some red light comes out. First one is red lasers. The red light comes out. The red is beneficial for one key thing. I don't want to touch too long on this because we touched on it yesterday, yet I'm being told that there are a lot of folks that didn't make it on yesterday who are new today. So I want to cover this for those folks. This is the red laser. Again, I put it on. What was the first thing that happened for me? I dropped into Stillpoint. We call that Stillpoint response. When I made this laser, what defined to me how I made it was I wanted to have the laser put me into Stillpoint. And so I tried lots of different variables with lasers, lots of different wavelengths, lots of frequencies, lots of other facets of variables, amplitude, phase, duty cycle, until I programmed the light into a certain place where when I put it on, it puts me into this state of dropping into neutrality and Stillpoint. Why? Because when you drop into Stillpoint, you clear the cell memory. That cell memory, when you go neutral, everybody try something. Go ahead, take a big breath in. As the breath comes out, now as you breathe out, try to hold on to a thought or an emotion. Can't do it. Now try again. Take another breath in. Now as the breath comes out, try to hold on to an area of tension or pain in the body. Can't do it. If you really let go, when you go neutral, when you let go, when you breathe out, you go neutral. And when you're neutral, you can't hold on to things. You can't hold on to cell memory. You can't hold on to emotions. You can't hold on to stress or polarity or thoughts. All those things are, yogis call karma, I call polarity. They're things. They're not neutral. They're fixated. Physical, emotional, psychic. Those are the three karmas. Well, it doesn't matter if you're holding on to a lot of physical stuff, a lot of emotional stuff, a lot of psychic stuff. Either way, if you're holding on to it, it's going to be your experience, and it's going to keep replaying. Universe is going to keep bringing you more of that if you keep holding on to it. That's the whole essence of karma. So my goal is, I don't want to hold on to stuff. I want to hold on to nothing. I want to dissolve into the energy of the universe. So the key to that is the scalar wave technology. So again, red lasers, surface cells. Red lasers work great on skin, muscle, nerve, acupuncture meridians. You can see all those cells in that area are absorbing. You can see right through. By putting this there, what are we doing? We're stimulating blood. We're stimulating oxygen, electrons. We're bathing the surface skin, muscle, nerve. That soft tissue is absorbing that red laser light. That stimulates photobiological processes to get the cells to start to have more blood, more oxygen, more ATP. You know, it's nothing like anything else. I mean, I'm sure you all have cars and phones and computers and homes, and you have no energy, things don't work. You have energy, things work. This isn't rocket science. You don't need to be some trained. I'm not a doctor. I'm not some expert. I'm just a person who tries a lot of things, and I share those things in our seminars. So don't take anything I say as fact or as some definitive or you need to do anything. You know, take it what it is. It's just me sharing my experience. You try it. You see if it's real. If it's real, do it. If it's not, don't do it. Second wavelength that we use in our laser systems, and we're unique. Most lasers don't use 3 wavelengths. They use 1, red or infrared. This is an infrared beam, nonlinear, infrared, non-visible. Non-visible. You can see the violet. Studies show again and again that infrared lasers are profoundly good for a deeper seated. In other words, that infrared light does not get absorbed by the skin, the muscle, the nerve. It goes right through that stuff and goes into the bone, tendon, cartilage, disc. There's a lot of published studies online that talk about infrareds being good for deeper seated intrinsic cells in the body. I got into lasers 10, 11 years ago, and this is what infrared, I had a major infection above a tooth, chronic pain, bone loss. I used red lasers first to clean up the infection. Then I used infrared lasers, which worked great to help to stimulate blood flow in the area to help rebuild and regenerate that. We get a lot of folks that use this over deep joint injuries, herniated discs, knee injuries. And this feels great. I'm on unwind right now. Feels good. My body's unwinding. It feels great. And again, infrared for deeper seated things. Again, you see, I'm always looking for that still point response. When does my body start dissolving, going into still point? This is the infrared. This is the violet laser. Violet light, from my perspective, is unique in that it is nonlinear. The violet light is really able to help to balance and unify things. It's profoundly good for dealing with stress, for dealing with emotions, for dealing with chakras, meridians. Really good for facial rejuvenation, skin situations. We do a whole bunch of points, which we'll touch on a little bit. Alchemy points, tip of the nose, great point for weight loss. Balances out the thyroid, great for the pineal, pituitary glands. One of my favorite points right here, tip of the nose. All right, this is the violet laser. Our laser systems use 3 wavelengths. Again, red for surface, infrared goes deeper for bone, tendon, cartilage, and disc. We package all of those together so that so that our laser systems will reach all the cells in a given area. The reason I do that is when I use the laser over a hand or a joint, I want the red to reach the surface, the infrared to go deeper, and the violet to work on balancing the lymph, the subtle energies around it inside the cells, and the energy around the body as well. So, okay, that's a little overview on the different wavelengths we use. Let me touch on the second key thing that I really want to focus on today. This is what these points are what makes our laser different than other cold lasers on the market. I want to demystify the notion. You know, a lot of companies are only comfortable telling you why theirs is good and by telling you why everyone else stinks, and that's not our approach. To me, all lasers are light. You know, one of the things I learned a lot from Discovery Channel, and one of the things I saw on Discovery a while ago was that we human beings are clothed in the dust of stars. We're basically woven of stellar and cosmic dust. We're woven of light, compressed light. It's really important to understand this. Everyone take a moment, drop into Stillpoint for one moment. We are light that gets compressed down by the planet, and the gravity pulls stuff and compresses it into these elements and into organized structures. So from my perspective, what is the better panacea to light for the body, for the challenges that people deal with? What better panacea is there than light? From my perspective, there's nothing better than using light to help balance and strengthen light. It's a great tool for dealing with the body. And we combine a second technology called scalar wave technology. And scalar wave technology, to me, is key to understand, because the scalar wave technology is what we discussed earlier. You have positive, you have negative, like this, and then they dissolve and you have neutrality. Positive, negative, dissolve. Well, inside of our laser, we have a proprietary technology that takes the lasers and we weave them into these waveforms. Positive, negative, neutral, positive, negative, neutral. That process makes our laser a two-part system. The first part of our laser, it donates energy, photons, like we just discussed. It donates photons, like we just discussed. And it also induces these nonlinear scalar waves. Why is that important? Because it clears that cell memory that Deepak and others have talked about. Anything that the body is holding on to, just like the out-breath. It dissolves things that are holding on to. All right, let's jump in real quick. I want to do a couple of protocols. First thing, now let's start. Say you have an area, pick an area in your body right now that you're having some challenges with. Everyone go ahead. If you have a laser, if you're an emissary hosting some people over, go ahead and pass lasers out, let people give it a try, and pick an area that could be a knee, could be a neck, could be a shoulder of a situation that you're dealing with. And what I want you to do is just simply put the laser over that area. And as you're doing this, this is kind of a key. This is how you work on just one area that you're working on. As you're working on one area, just start it on a wind and check in and say, how does that feel? Does it feel good? If it feels good, keep going with it. If you're not sure it feels so good or if it's the right program, shift, put it on quantum. I have mine on quantum right now. I had it on a wind, it felt okay. I switched, I put it on quantum, and my shoulder is relaxing. My shoulder is unwinding. If you're not sure if quantum's the right one, put it on activate, put it on unity, put it on wave. And just notice, this is the key. I tell emissaries in our network a lot. I have an old shoulder injury, so I always, every so often, just go to that area and I just find whatever program unwinds it. I liken this to watching TV. You watch TV, you try this program. Is it good? Well, do you like it? No, not so much. You go to the next one. Well, when you like the right one, you relax. You put the remote down. Same thing here. You don't need to be some yogi or some shaman to feel this. Anyone can feel this. It's very simple. Check in. If you're not sure, would you watch this if it was a TV show? For me, I got it on quantum. It feels really good. Shoulders unwinding. When you're comfortable doing this, I tell emissaries, you want to be a good emissary, practice on your body. Unwind, quantum, pleo, vital, unity, wave. Pick any one. When you feel that one, that puts you into stillpoint response. And you can do that on your body, on any challenge, an organ, a knee, a shoulder, a neck, an emotion, and unwind it. If you can do that consistently, I tell you, that's all I do. I just watch until I feel the body start to unwind. Then after you do that on your body, go and pick 10 friends, family, friends. Say, look, I want to practice this. Sit them down. I always have people sit or lay them down on a table and say, you got a knee, shoulder, just put it over that area. Unwind or quantum. Usually quantum does it great. And watch. When do you see them breathe? When do you see them sigh? When do you see them start to unwind? As soon as you see that happen, they're dissolving into neutrality. Keep watching until at a certain point, right there for me, my body whoosh, drops into neutrality. You've just taken something from positive, you've unwound it into neutrality, whoosh, and dropped it into negative, and then into neutrality. If you are good at doing that, I tell you that is the foundation and essence of being an emissary. If you are good at doing that, then you go out. 3 things here. You unwinding and things on your body. 2, you getting practiced on doing it with other people. If you can do that, and when the person's done, I'll tell you when the person's done. When they're unwound, they're done because they're smiling. They're relaxed. I just look at the face. I know exactly when people are done because they're smiling, they're relaxed, they're at ease. And when people smile, relax, and at ease, guess what? They don't have pain anymore. So if you do that and practice that, you'll see people feel relief. Well, then you go out and start looking, well, who can you go and work on? And I tell people, this is the hardest part. The hardest part is not getting things to unwind. We have thousands of emissaries who can unwind. It's why people love the laser. The scalar technology in here, it invites things to unwind. Why? Because it's a language. It's not some amazing thing that we've done. It's just understanding the physics of the universe. Yogis, shamans, they understand this. They've been alchemists. They've been doing this for eons, for ages. All we've done is applied the physics of this language into a little device. And to me, everyone thinks I'm the inventor of the scalar wave laser. I'm not the inventor. I just happen to be here to help steward it in. Stillpoint's the inventor of the scalar laser. I just kept resting in Stillpoint, and I try things with the engineers and say, no, I don't feel my body unwinding. I feel it still going like this. I try this. When I felt the combination of things and my body started to unwind, I said, this is what I want to do. And, thank goodness I had the experience of cranial sacral work, which I touched on yesterday, and being with different yogis. So I understood the nature and the experience of resting in Stillpoint. So when I went to make the laser, I said to engineers, what can we do with light? What are the options? I said, good, then let's build a big one. And I spent weeks trying combinations of this and this. When I felt the combination of different things that we do digitally in the light, where my body started to unwind and go into this state, I said, that's what I want. Engineers, make this into a small one. So again, the key to this is understanding universe. In every healing system, they talk about the Trinity. They talk about the 3 gunas in India, positive, negative, neutrality. We don't need some new belief. We just need to understand, well, what is that language and how do we have it? How do we have that conversation? And I don't want to know about it. I don't want to tell you about the new 3 things or whatever they are. I bump into something like this. Can I take that thing and unwind it and walk it back to this? If you can't do that, there's no reason to talk about anything about the 3 different things. The key is understanding, well, okay, if it's here, we unwind it. Otherwise, we're stuck to living like this. We've got to understand physical contraction, galaxy negative, positive, negative, universe neutral. Universe neutral. Okay, let's do a quick, my shoulder is now officially unwound. So let's do a quick, simple thing. Yesterday we did the adrenals. Let's do organs. Let's do the organ protocol. Let's do an organ protocol. Start with I probably need to tell you what the organ protocol is. We start with the lungs. Lungs are right here. And I'm on quantum right now. I started on unwind, now I'm on quantum. We're going to do 5 key organs. This is one of my favorite protocols. Ah, does that feel good? I tell you, you understand the value of these organs. These organs are like your car. It has the different systems that you go for the warranty. Well, you want to live a good life. Make sure your organs work. The first organ we're doing is lungs. Lungs are your carburetor. Lungs are your carburetor. If your lungs are good and open, what do? They absorb oxygen. Oxygen is fuel. Oxygen is energy. They use liquid oxygen to send rockets to space. Babies have way more oxygen in their blood than adults, which is why they grow so well. Key, you want to be good, healthy, make sure every day your lungs are nice and open. I learned this from a Taoist. This is ancient alchemy. It goes back thousands of years. I just cheat. I use a laser. Though if I don't have laser, I use Stillpoint. What do I do with Stillpoint? Well, I go open up the quantum field. Then I take my perception, I go over to the area, and I say to the lungs? I say, oh, aloha, lungs, welcome. I invite it to welcome, dissolve. In fact, when I do laser, I'll often do that with it. I'm sitting here and I say to the lungs, hi lungs, how you doing? Lungs are doing good. They're opening up. They're dissolving. All this is like a remote. And all the remote does is it says things, positive, negative. By sending the positive and negative, we're just making sure that we're all on the same page. We're saying, okay, everyone here, everyone part of the dialogue. Oh, good, now let's dissolve. That's all we're doing with this. It's all we're doing with this too. Neutrality. Oh, okay, some challenge. Great. Take a breath in. Drop in here. We're just holding this space until we say to that challenge, oh, have you been heard? We're listening. Is everything okay? Oh, okay, great. Now that everything's here, let's dissolve. We're emissaries for neutrality. We're here as emissaries for neutrality, saying to things, oh, you've been in polarity here, stuck on this planet? An emotion or this or a challenge in the little bubble here in the larger expanse of the universe in this huge, amazing experience? Oh, well, here, let us give you some of this neutral essence from beyond. Oh, great, welcome. You dissolve. This is your essence too. You cannot exist in this universe and creation and not have this neutral essence as the underlying thread that weaves everything into existence. So don't discriminate. Whatever the challenge is, oh, good, welcome, thank you. You come. You want some of this. This is who you are also. Second key organ is the kidneys, below the adrenal glands, the low back. And I'm on quantum. I'm staying on quantum. I often do a lot of things with quantum. I just move it around. The kidneys are your battery. So if this is the carburetor that fills in the gas, the juice, the energy, what do we do with that energy? We take that energy down and we fill in the kidneys. The kidneys. When I do this, I lean back a little bit. So I'm kind of looking around on the kidneys. Are there any tender areas? Like right there, I was in one area, it felt pretty good. So I leaned back a little bit lower to the right and I found a little tender area. When I find a tender area, to me, that's like, oh, great, how are you? When I find a little tenderness, that's to me an opportunity. That's something telling me, when there's pain, there's no energy. When there's tenderness, there's an area that's saying, oh. So I look constantly in the body. Well, where is there a little tenderness? I say, oh, this is how I avoid things getting to pain. If we don't check every day with the body to find the tender areas, I find the tender areas and I say, oh, whether I do it with the laser or with Stillpoint, I say, oh, hi, how you doing? And I just hold them in a very special and dear fashion until they start to open. Like right there, it's starting to open. It's starting to say, I can feel it. It's going like this, and then it's kind of cooking a little bit. We call in our seminars. I tell you, you want to really learn this process, come to Vermont. Vermont is filling up. Vermont is going to sell out. We're not going to have enough space in Vermont for everyone. The hotel only, it's going to fill up. And we're going to do, it's over solstice, come to Vermont if you want to really learn the fabric and the essence of this process. This is, I tell you, more important than learning to walk, from my perspective, to walking around and thinking and doing the things that keep the physical body. We got to understand how to do the things. This is equivalent to walking around and learning to move the body from place to place. And this is understanding how to keep this body here on planet Earth, how to move from place to place with this body. If we don't learn how to dissolve karma, we can't hold this body open. If there's karma going on, yogis say karma, no energy, no prana. So they say you come and you tell them the problem, they say, oh, it's just karma. It's just, oh, that's karma. dissolve it, dissolve it, dissolve it. They have nothing else to say to anyone. Because until you delete the karma, they have no purpose for you. There's no purpose. You want to be in neutrality, you've got to find a way to clean and dissolve the karma. Which is all this is. Now I'm over on the other side of the kidneys. Oh, I tell you, these organs are fantastic. How nice is that? I put it over to the other area. It's a little tender. I lean into it a little bit. I don't lean into it to get it painful. I lean it in gently. As if to say, oh, okay, good. That feels, that's good. Let's trend that tenderness. Tender to me is saying, hey, I'm tender. I'm ripe. And I say, oh, you're tender and ripe? Great. What about we trend that into some bliss? What about we trend that into some really sweet, nice place? I tell you, it's the tender areas and the challenge areas that are the doorways. So I've been with some yogis and they say, you know, every health challenge, every issue you have, that's the universe saying to you, slow down, stop, there's something about to happen. There's an opportunity. Don't medicate it and get rid of it. Find out what's in there, what's underneath, what is the essence. Every single thing has at its root the same essence, this neutral essence. All right, kidneys are so important because they're the battery. Well, if you open up your kidneys every day and fill up this battery, well, guess what? Chinese acupuncturists say if kidney energy is weak, you get knocked around. Someone coughs, you get sick. Someone comes near you with emotion, you get knocked over. You don't get done what you're here to do. You have strong kidney energy every day and you just go. Someone coughs, you don't even stop. Someone comes with some emotion, drama for you, you say, oh great, hi, how are you? Good, thank you, good, good. You keep going with what you're here to do. I've had people with major autoimmune challenges, chronic fatigue, chemical sensitivity, chronic back pain, that tell me after starting to do this protocol and activating kidneys every day, they change. If you have any major, napping a lot, tired, you feel like you're aging, a lot of emotionality, boost up your kidney energy. It's like your car. Your car doesn't have any energy. Well, how good is it going to be? It's going to be putting and sputtering. It's going to likely not get there. Get this thing strong so you can cruise through your day. All right, that's kidney. Second key organ. Again, I don't want to take credit for this. This is an ancient alchemy. I fine-tuned it a little bit. This is an ancient alchemy protocol. Each organ, the other benefit, each organ correlates to a different element in the universe. 5 key elements, 5 key organs. Third organ, the liver. The liver. I just changed to activate. Whew, that's good. It's a good one. How do I know it's a good one? I completely dissolved. I got nothing to say. I'm in Stillpoint. In my life, I look for the moments. I call them the treasure moments where I can dissolve into Stillpoint. And there's nothing to say. There's nothing to think about. Yet what there is energy here. Again, the steps. What is there? I'm in Stillpoint. So energy's here. Energy's here. Energy's here. I'm in like, what is there to say? I'm in a state of connection to the universe and beyond. This is like total bliss. I should say something because we're doing a live stream though. So the liver, what does the liver do? So each one of these, this purifies, brings oxygen into the blood, lungs. This activates your energy so you have life energy. Then we send that energy to the liver. The liver activates your blood. Liver, from my perspective, purifies and, more importantly, activates the high-spinning energy, the somatids, subtle energy in the blood, the liquid crystal state of the blood, supercharges the blood. When your blood has lots of good energy in it, what does it do? It activates white blood cells, stem cells, plasma. Really, really important function for alchemy and for activating super immunity, longevity. Again, just activating liver. This is like anything else. You know, you don't ever work on, a lot of people don't even know where their organs are. For me, and that's okay if you go home. Don't not do this because you're not sure where your organs are. Go home and pretend. You know, the lungs are in here. Kidneys down here. If you're not sure, just go like this. They're all in here. Don't not do this. You know, these are your organs. Don't let the big fancy names and locations throw you off. Not kidding. Pretend. Go like this. You'll come on our conference call, come on our live stream, a couple of visits, you'll be an expert. Part of the benefit, I always tell emissaries, when you share this with people, they're not just getting a laser. This is the price of a cup of coffee a day. Lasers are not inexpensive. Our lasers, the lower, for what you get, the diodes, the wavelengths, the probes, the features, the scalar technology, there is way more laser in our system for the price than any other laser on the market, by far. It's also an over-the-counter device. Most lasers, you need to be a doctor to get a prescription to use it. Anyone can buy our laser. It's approved in numerous countries as for pain relief, inflammation, circulation, arthritis or arthritic pain, and relaxation of tissue. And that's only the medical approach. There's non-medical ways to use lasers. Cosmetics, voluntary registration process. Veterinary, non-medical process. Yoga, energy flow, non-medical. A huge amount of how I use this lasers is for energy flow, relaxing things, and allowing energy to flow. Not so the laser. I never tell people the laser cures, fixes, and heals things. Laser doesn't heal or fix anything. The human body fixes and heals and regenerates things. All laser does is to unwind and allow energy to flow, circulation, blood, pain relief, inflammation, relaxation, that's all. All right, that's the liver. Now we're going to move over to the spleen. The spleen. The spleen is on this side of the body. I'm on unity. I just changed to unity. I'm on this side of the body. What does the spleen do? So again, energy comes, bring energy in, we charge up the battery, then we kick it over here to activate the blood, then we go over here to activate the lymph. The spleen is the center of the lymph. And the lymph, from my perspective, I always say lasers aren't the future of medicine, lymph is the future of medicine. That's good. I put this on unity and my body just drops in. You try. Could be quantum, could be vital, could be wave. That's the one that works for you. Just because I'm using it doesn't mean you see if it's putting you into that relaxation response. For me, it's putting me into relaxation response, which is why whatever I work on, my goal is I want to dissolve and go here. And I say that because in my life, if there's a challenge and I go here, the thing disappears. And so I trust that process, but I don't want you to believe me. You try and see. We have lots of emissaries and customers who use this, who dissolve things, who come back to neutrality, and who say, this works. I love my laser. I just saw, I get posts, like another person on Facebook just said, I love my laser. This is a tool that people use. It's why we did an event recently in Canada, and one of our top leaders there who, some of our leaders have 10, 15 lasers, and they give them out. It's why we do the specials we do, like right now, where we're giving away all this extra product. We want our community of owners to have lasers. Why? You have lasers, you share it with someone, they're going to want one. Our top emissaries, Galactics and Universe, they all have 10, 15 lasers. Most of them bought 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, and they won the rest of them. Why? Because they rent them out to people, and then those people want one. They say, get on the live stream, try this out, and then those are the people that end up getting and wanting to have a laser. We had one woman share that every one of her friends recently, in the last year and a half since she's been with us, has a laser, and they're all her friends. They all still have the laser. They love the laser. This is not a technology that people have and don't really use. This is a technology that I routinely hear from people that the laser sleeps in the bed with them. They roll over, they find it, they start using it on someone, on their family, and then laser is right nearby. Okay, so this is the spleen. Wow, does that feel good? That's just like, I tell you, you want to have good health, activate your spleen. Your spleen governs your lymph. Your lymph is like your bouncer. Lymph goes everywhere in the body, goes over to areas, it starts to find out if there's any trouble. It deals with challenges. Lymph is like the bouncer. If there's a challenge, if there's an issue, it goes over, it cleans it up. If you've never worked on this, this is so important. I'm not going to get too into lymph today, yet it is very important. All right, from the spleen, I go to the 5th organ, the heart. The heart. In Chinese acupuncture, Taoism, which is where this protocol comes from, ancient Taoist protocol. In Taoism, this protocol, they say, heart translates to the vessel. This is the vessel. This is the cauldron. And this is an alchemy process. So we do lungs, kidneys, liver, spleen, into the heart. And the heart opens up. They say when the heart opens, I usually start around the whole heart chakra, then I go over the heart. I often do this with quantum or wave. I'm on wave right now. It feels really good, so I'm keeping going. This is really a wellness protocol. It's a preventative wellness protocol. I'm not saying the laser cures or fixes the organs. I'm saying we're going to relax these areas. We're going to allow blood to flow. We're going to allow lymph to move through the area. Taoists say when the heart opens, when the vessel opens and everything is there, it produces something, induces something, which translates, the word is Jing. Jing. And it translates to essence or love. It opens this essence. And this essence, they say, when the Jing is there, the essence, long life, longevity, happiness. So every day I do this protocol or something, either the unwind or this. Why? So at the end of it, I'm resting here in this state of stillpoint. Now a shortcut to this protocol, here's the shortcut. The shortcut is you go around like this. You start off real slow, you do the lungs up here, then you come down, you get the kidneys, then the liver, you come around, spleen, and finish up in the heart. That's the shortcut. If you're not sure, you get home, you're not sure where the organs are, just go around. And you don't even have to know where they are. Just make sure you go slow and get all the different organs to open up and balance out. By the way, let me touch on one thing. Right there, I'm in Stillpoint. After a good session, we're going to do one more session in one moment. After a good session for me, I always put laser down. Everyone take a breath. Just drop into Stillpoint for a moment. Don't jump up when you do a good alchemy process and run off. Don't run off and go start watching TV and thinking and doing stuff, because then all this neutral energy, this nice neutral space that we've cultivated, I want to bathe in this. I'm in Stillpoint now. I want to cultivate this for me. I want to ride on what we just cultivated for a moment. I want to say also, because I was taking a shower this morning, when you shower, showering is a great, I always like to throw in a couple of different things when we do these live streams around different areas, whether it's diet, whether it's smoothies, whether it's detox. When you showering, in my life, I'm looking at everything that I'm doing. How can I take every situation and basically use it as an opportunity to pierce the, yogis say if there's a knot. And that knot, it's not physical knot, it's a knot that separates people from the energy of the universe and who they truly are. And that knot can manifest for people in different places. It can be in their personality. It can be in a chakra area. This knot that keeps energy on this side of the veil, to me, I'm constantly looking, well, where can I dissolve that knot? Where can I do a session? Oh, good, let's dissolve that. Oh, great, I do some quanticize, energy along the spine. I do a quantum field process. I'm constantly looking, well, where can I pinprick that? Turn the Qui-fi on. So the more things we do that we start to pinprick in this fabric, and that knot loosens, that fabric dissolves, so this neutral energy and essence start to naturally flow constantly through our experience here. This is the key, and this is, from my perspective, what's such an auspicious moment on planet Earth right now. Because right now, at the end of an age, opening of a new age, that process is called, it's a flood. Many traditions refer to it as a flood, or in India they call it pralaya, dissolution. And there's a neutral wave of energy coming in for this new season. And so it's a great moment right now for folks that want to dissolve and open up and bring in this neutral energy into their lives. Well, when you take a shower, when I shower, I turn the water as hot as I can take it. And really hot. Why? Because the hot water dissolves the chlorine. It dissolves the chlorine. And when I'm taking the shower, I'll turn around and get that right on the adrenals. I'll let the hot water go right onto the adrenals. Really hot. So the adrenals, it energizes and they relax. I'll make sure I'll get it along the spine. I'll do the hot water right on the thymus gland. Today I was doing it and I just ran it over each organ. what are we doing? We're stimulating, so these protocols that I do with the laser, I also do in many different ways throughout my day. I do it with my perception. I do it with hot water. At the occipital ridge, I ran hot water for a little bit today. It completely unwound and opened the vagus nerve. So let's do one more laser protocol. Let's maybe do a probe protocol. Let's do a little protocol with the probes. And I want to start, the first thing I'm going to do as I do this is I'm going to start at the base. You can do this if you have the main unit, just use the main unit, and if you just have the violet probe, you can do the violet probe. I'm starting at the very base root of the body. And you see which program feels like the right one for you. I started off on wave. I'm going to go to activate. If you have the main unit, you might try just doing activate. And I'm just going at the root, at the base of the spine. You can go underneath the body. This is just a very simple protocol to work on these key chakra plexuses. I tell you, most people don't do a whole lot through their daily, day-to-day existence on these different centers. These centers, from my perspective, are key. And I want to walk through each one of them. In fact, let's just do it with the main unit, because folks, I'm not sure everyone out there has probes, and so I want to be consistent for folks that are out there using it. So I'm just starting at the base root chakra right here, and I'm just holding the laser right close into that area at the very base. And notice as this area, squeeze the area. Do this. We have a lot of yoga folks using our laser. More and more people in the yoga community are using our laser because they are starting to get that this is a profound tool for yoga and transformation. Why? Because when you send this signal into an area, when you send this light into an area, you're saying to that area, all right, it's kind of like tuning a guitar. You have the guitar, it's out of tune. Well, these are like the different strings of a guitar. And if these areas are all doing their own thing, well then what does it do? The whole thing doesn't sound very good. It's not an instrument of synthesis and unity and coherence with the universe. So the key to that is to tune everything so everything is neutral. So just like a guitar, what do you do when you're tuning the guitar? You play a string and you tune it all the way one way, then the other, then you find that balance point. Oh yeah, we're right there, good. So when I do this, I'm doing the same thing. I'm over the root and I squeeze that root muscle at the base. So squeeze it in a little bit and then relax it out. These are the sacred points or the bonds or the energy of the root locks. Squeeze it in a little bit. And right there, I squeezed it all the way out. Then I went all the way in, and now I rebalanced right here into this space. So that's it. That's the first one. Now I'm going to the second one, right below the belly button, pubic bone area. And again, right here, as soon as I put this here, I felt this kind of same thing. Yogis say that at each of these locations is a plexus. And that plexus, not the nerves, not the muscles, it's a nerve plexus. It's a neuroplexus. And right in this area, the top part of the sacrum, into this area, it kind of went in like this for me. Squeeze it a little bit. Yogis say we have to get these. Most people live with these not in their conscious control. The yogi says, well, if we're not controlling these things, well, what is? The outside play. So our goal is, well, we have to cultivate these things. So first one, and by cultivating, it's not like we control them because they're not part of our sympathetic nervous system. These are part of our parasympathetic nervous system. Neutral. Sympathetic nervous system, positive, negative, polarity. Parasympathetic nervous system, neutrality. It's the neutral part of our experience. So, what do we have here? Squeeze in, out, and this area, this second area for me just dropped in. You want to keep your chakras strong, make sure the plexuses are in a state of neutrality. All right, third plexus, solar plexus. You can do this on unwind. You can do it on quantum. Occasionally, I'll just kind of go around the whole area. What am I doing? It's like a guitar string. I mean, this is a very simple protocol. Every day, you could take a moment and tune these in. I often do it with Activate or Wave. Some days Cohere. I'm using Activate right now, which is working great. And right there, I felt the whole area kind of go whoosh and drop in. Tell you, if these things are not, if you've never flexed these things and you don't have any kind of say in what they're doing, they're going to be responding to whatever's going on around you. Someone's all upset around you, they're going to contract. They're going to be in sympathy. Sympathetic nervous system means you're in sympathy to what's around you. Parasympathetic, para, beyond sympathy. So you want to activate this parasympathetic, and you are now beyond. All right, now I'm gonna go onto wave, and I'm on the fourth one. And as I'm doing wave again, I feel it kind of go in and out. I tell you, all this thing does is it goes, whether it's in shoulder, whether it's a back, it says to that area, yoo-hoo, positive, negative, neutral, positive, negative, neutral. That's what scalar does. It brings things together, whoosh, drops them into neutral. You have an injury and it's all stressed, well, positive, negative, get that rhythm going, whoosh, neutral. This is the heart, fourth plexus. Right there, just kind of dropped in. Some days I do the chakras. This is different than a chakra protocol. When I do a chakra protocol, I'm more opening the energy up. For folks that have done chakra protocols with us, we take and we open the energy up. This is a little bit different. This I'm working the actual bundle, what yogis call the nerve bundle or the bond. Fourth one, and Activate's the best one for working on this. Activate works really good for this. Wave opens things a bit more, whereas Activate kind of tightens it and gets that nice zone. Up to the fifth one. Same thing. We're just activating these sacred points. These are key. Hopefully folks out there are getting a little bit of a sense of what that's like when you get that it's like fine-tuning until that right point. I do this a lot without the laser, with Stillpoint, going to the area, welcoming it, it goes in, it goes out, and then dissolving into neutrality. Everyone go ahead, take a breath, make sure you're in neutrality. Don't try too hard. If it's not coming yet, that's okay, it'll happen. I've been doing this for a while. All right, next one, up into the sixth, up here, the sphenoid. Same thing, just sphenoid. In and out. Tell you, even if you don't feel anything, you can't tell, just energizing these plexuses is fantastic from my perspective. And then very top. All right, good. Good. I'm going to finish with one last protocol. I'm going to start at the base of the spine and just allow energy to flow up the spine. And real simple. I'm on unity and I'm just inviting energy to flow. I call this the Staff of Life protocol, where I'm just inviting energy to flow up the spine. This is a good one to do if you have a probe. You can do this one, Staff of Life protocol. It just opens energy along the spine. Start down here. I'll often point the laser over the feet. Just draw the energy up. Like I said, the world is constantly pulling energy out. We want to, every day when we do a session, I want to make sure energy here and flowing up the spine. I want to detrend that outgoing process and trend energy moving up the spine, up to the glands here. I often do a little lotus for folks that have been to our seminars. Energy up the spine. Just pretend. Be like a child with a big light crayon. You don't have to be an expert to understand how energy... Heck, our whole medical symbol is based in one symbol. Symbol of a scalar wave and a staff, energy up the spine, the gland at the brain, and then the flowering, the wings, the opening of the frontal lobe, and balancing out of the experience. Not rocket science. When I finish sessions, I often go around the outside of the body. I'm just going around the field. I'm just making sure. Is there any holes? Is there any blockages? Yogis say that a lot of people have blockages, have holes in the field. I go above the quantum field. I go below the quantum field. Often I do this part on quantum, which feels great. Yogis say a lot of people have cords that go between them and their loved ones and the chakras. So these chakras have energy going in and out. That's the outgoing senses they talk about. Outgoing energy, incoming energy. We want to say when we do a session no to that. When I do a session, I often start, whether with this or with perception, I just go around the outside of my field. It's like if you have a garden and you have some raccoons or beavers or whatever coming in. Well, at a certain point, you can't grow the garden if you got all these critters coming in. So you got to put a little fence around it. You got to guard the outside of that fence so that nothing's coming in there. Well, same thing here. Cultivate your field so that and it's not me saying to loved ones and friends that I'm not there for them. I just say for right now, I'm not no cords, no energy coming in. I'll still be there for them from a place of neutrality. I tell you, you do this protocol every day for a little bit and train your field not to be constantly absorbing. And if the field is in polarity, always good to finish on thymus. I often finish on thymus gland. If the field is in keep the thymus open. I can't say enough. If this gland is open, the quantum field. Look at the glands as basically like, this is like you look at the old pictures from the Maya folks, and you look at the Buddhists, and they have these crystals and these gems and these different things at each area. These are like you as a conscious being, this is like your vehicle, and depending on which things you touch is going to be where you go. So if your adrenals are what you're working all day long, well, you're going to go to the experience of being separate from the universe and being stressed and thinking a lot. That's just how it works. These glands produce that response. If you cultivate the experience of the thymus gland, well, then you're opening up the quantum field and you're activating the sense of compassion and love and understanding and peace and cultivating your lymph system and your immune system and this. If you cultivate the experience of the pineal pituitary glands, well, then you're going to be cultivating the experience of being in a state of bliss and flowering and connection and nectar and unity. And if you open up here, the gland up here, the lotus, yogis call it a big lotus, the lotus opens and you experience universal consciousness and ultimately beyond. So this is our choice. Every day we have the choice. What do you want to experience? I'm not here to tell you what to experience. I'm here just sharing that I find it very liberating to have options. So I still come and experience the body, and being the body walking around here on planet Earth is a great experience. Yet I also have, in a moment, I say, well, gee, that was nice, although it's getting a little bit heavy. I think I'm going to drop and open up into the field, quantum field. And oh, that's nice, and gee, I'm going to collapse the quantum field and cultivate that energy up below. See, each of these structures is a different option we have. The key is not good, bad, or this. The key is having the freedom and the flexibility to shift between them. Otherwise, we're stuck in one of them. And that's, to me, I don't like being stuck in the thoughts and emotions. That's no fun on planet Earth. I came here and said, that's not for me, that's not for me. That's nice, it's not for me. I'm fine to have some thoughts, emotions, that's okay, so long as I can dissolve them and come back to Stillpoint or come back to the quantum field. And oh, the quantum field is nice, though I want to dissolve that at certain moments and activate energy along the spine. And then I want to dissolve that into the state of bliss, nectar, and ambrosia. And then, dissolve that and go back into pure consciousness and essence and where I come from. So that's the violet probe. That's the benefit of the probes. And we have some specials right now to help folks to be able to get into the probes. I better turn it off because I'm blissing out and soon going to be not able to communicate anymore. So take a moment right now. Everyone drop into Stillpoint for a moment. Great reference. We do some unwinding at a certain point. I'm done with the laser. I don't need to keep using it. I'm barely even in the body. The body is dissolved. The quantum field is dissolved. Now I'm just kind of resting in a state of bliss. So it's a great moment. I want to suggest for folks, it's been a real treat to get to do a live stream. For me, it's always a blessing to open to neutrality and invite this essence. So I want to thank everyone for coming and being a part of this today. Take some moments in your life. Take some moments to go and practice this. Carve out a little space in your home, in a quiet place, in an area where there's a quiet room or a couch or a closet where you can go and open up your quantum field. Do a laser session, work the Qui-fi, have a smoothie, drop in, come on our conference call. Use that space as your nucleus. That is your nucleus. Let neutrality charge that place up and then radiate to your house, to your work, to your car, to your job. Envision that when you're looking at your quantum field every day. Everyone open up quantum field once more. Open up this space of the quantum field. And just look around. See if you notice anything different right now. For me, I can't find anything. I look around, there's no injuries. There's no emotions. There's just a nice wide open quantum field. See if you check in with that muscle at the root. I squeeze that a little bit, energy starts flowing up the spine. Saliva starts to open. Ambrosia. Ambrosia is the opening up of the nectar in the glands. The saliva. It's a very specific process that we focus on more. Maybe in the next live stream. Maybe we should do a live stream tomorrow. We've covered yesterday a good intro. Then today we really got into the energy. We haven't totally tapped in to sharing about ambrosia process. Next live stream we do, we're going to really open up into ambrosia in Vermont at the Vermont retreat. Big part of our retreats, cultivating this ambrosia. Just like I talk about resting in Stillpoint or resting in holding that root. Some situations for me, those don't work. And so I come here and I hold this sacred ambrosial space of the sphenoid and this flowering. Right now, I'm just holding this space right here. You see, there's a theme that we've been through throughout the entire day. Everything we've done, Qui-fi, the process, welcoming things, laser. We're going there and we're saying to the area, aloha, let's see that wave, positive, negative, and then we collapse it, we hold it in neutrality. As soon as we collapse it into that neutrality, when we're in polarity, we get the energy going on here in this star and this planet. Planet back and forth every day, back and forth, positive, negative. Galaxy, back and forth, positive, negative. As soon as we take things and we start to hold them in this space, now we're saying totally different. We're saying universe, fill in this with neutral essence. So that is the theme. To me, there is one panacea from my perspective, and it's the neutral essence of the universe and beyond. And so whatever we're doing in the laser scalar, in the Qui-fi, all we're saying to things is yoo-hoo, dissolve, positive, negative, come back here to neutrality. So use it. Use it in your life. Use these tools. See if they work for you. Like we finished, to me, these seminars, these live streams are a retreat designed to strengthen our perception and our ability to dissolve things and rest and hold neutrality. That's the goal. That's why I start every seminar here. I bring it up throughout the process, and I like to finish here. And I do that here with you all. I also do this in every other area in my life. We have dinner, I drop in Stillpoint. I go home after a seminar, I drop in Stillpoint. I get on an airplane, a lot of people on there, I drop in to Stillpoint. I go into a hotel room, first thing I do, I drop in to Stillpoint. If it's really strong and like this, I put the Qui-fi on. If it's tough, I arrive in a certain place, bodies like this, I unwind with a laser. All of these tools, I might have the Stillpoint smoothie. Drink the smoothie, I drink the smoothie, I drop into Stillpoint. Take moments, use these tools. You all are doing great. I want to thank everyone globally for showing up. It's a lot going on the planet right now, so to take a moment and to come and to get to share in a moment, a collective moment of Stillpoint is a great blessing. From my perspective, the goal of our company, Quantum Wave, and this whole process is to affect the 100th monkey principle. The more of us that are dissolved and resting here in a place of no karma and neutrality, we are going to affect huge change. This is a new activism. Emissary is being an activist for opening up the neutral essence and energy of the universe. So thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of your holiday weekend. Much love and aloha from Maui. Thank you for being here.